So what skills and qualities do you think is most important for VFX artists or for someone wanting to get into VFX?
Patience. Patience. If you're not good at patience, like those rendering times are gonna surprise you. With visual effects, you're gonna spend 10 hours on a 5-second clip. The joke is always that you're gonna spend 5 hours on like 5 pixels that no one's gonna notice. But it's almost like if they don't notice it, then that's a good thing. Sometimes I won't even notice an issue until like after it's posted, or like until someone else like comments on it and they're like, "Hey dude, great video," but
And it hurts a little bit.
I'm like, dang. So like, yeah, I don't know how I missed that. I hate filming in public. I even hate filming in front of my wife because she makes fun of me. She's like, "You look so dumb right now." I'm like, I know.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Cut. Today's episode is with Matthew Salley, an amazing visual effects artist, something I know nothing about. So it's just me asking a ton of questions. I hope you guys learned something from it. And if you guys do, please like and subscribe. And also shout out to the sponsors, Uppbeat. More on that later. Do you remember the video or film that got you inspired to do visual effects? Where you're like, oh my gosh, like I want to do that thing.
It was back in the day too. The thing that comes to mind is like years ago, they would always post like the behind the scenes of like Marvel movies doing like special effects, and like it's all the green screen footage, and it's just like, this is crazy. And so I remember I was like, this could definitely be like something interesting to like go into. And so, I would like download the videos off of YouTube. And then I got a version of After Effects, and, just through YouTube videos, just playing around like, hey, what, like I can remove the green screen. Okay, now what, and then added some random Iron Man, blasting effects that, look horrible, but.
Yeah, but you did it. So wait, did you start in After Effects?
Oh yeah.
That is insane. You're like the second person. I have another episode and he started in After Effects. I'm like, that's an insane jump too, because after like, even I don't touch After Effects. Like I know of it. My brother does visual effects and stuff, but it's such a crazy editing program to get into first. It's like you're running before you're walking almost.
Yeah, it was crazy because like I feel like even back then that was the industry standard, especially in like any kind of VFX tutorial you could find online. It was After Effects. I know like back then they like Fuse and Nuke, I think it's called, was a big thing back then, but like there were 0 tutorials on it. And so I was like, hey, this is what I got, so might as well.
Do you still use After Effects?
Oh yeah, it's like
primary?
It's like 95% of everything I do. Yeah.
Dang, that is wild. How about 3D stuff? Do you like, I've seen some of your work and you talked about it. I watched a lot of your old YouTube videos and stuff like that, and it's like the 3D aspect is a whole other thing on top of that. How are you with that?
See, I feel like I would definitely be looked down upon as a 3D artist because everyone's like, yes, just jump into Blender, it's free. And it is, it's a great program, but there's also such a huge like learning curve. And like once you get over that, it's solid. But for me, it's been so hard to like jump in and like fully figure out Blender and all the ins and outs. So I've somehow managed to pretty much stay all inside of After Effects, whether it's downloading like different plugins like Element 3D from Video Copilot, and then just like using different updates. And like I've had friends like tell me like, dude, just do it in Blender. I'm like, okay, but I'm going to do it in After Effects first and see if it works. And it usually does.
Yeah, for the most part, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Any 3D experience I have is all inside of After Effects. And if I do use Blender, it's usually to like convert a model file to be able to import it to whatever After Effects like supports. And that's like as far as my knowledge goes.
Do you want to get into it, or are you content with like, yo, let me specialize in After Effects, and like if I need something done, I could get someone, or like you said, Video Copilot. There's probably so much assets anyways.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely leaning more that way. I definitely did go through a phase where I was like, okay, I'm going to like hone in and learn 3D, but it just didn't turn out. So like maybe it just isn't for me. I'll let other people be really good at it and support them.
Do you think the learning curve is tougher from going from like a regular video editing, like cinematic vlogs, things like that, than into After Effects, or is it greater to go from After Effects to Blender, like to 3D stuff?
Yeah, I don't even it's just different, you know? I know people who have, like, been able to go over that learning curve from starting in After Effects and then going into Blender. It's just, like, persistence and just, like, every single day giving it, like, 2 hours and just, like, going at it. I would just say it's different. Like, there's the huge learning curve either way.
I find that when people start making videos, it's easier, not maybe easier, but faster to go from a beginner to your stuff looks decent if you're doing like, the cinematic filmmaking. And not to say that it's easier, but I just feel like, you buy the camera, you get a lens, and I feel like maybe within a year you could learn so many different things. But with visual effects, and maybe it's just me because I suck at visual effects and the attention to detail, I find that it takes longer for your videos to look really good where you're like, like, do you find that
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of it?
Yeah, I agree completely. Even, like, when starting out, like, you're learning the basics of your camera and getting all the exposure correctly, and then you can get, like, just the right image to look super cinematic, and all you really have to do is bring in slow motion and some sound effects, and color it really nice, and it'll look fantastic. With visual effects, you're gonna spend 10 hours on a 5-second clip, making sure that every aspect of the clip is working exactly how you want it to work. The joke is always that you're gonna spend 5 hours on, like, 5 pixels that no one's gonna notice. But it's almost like if they don't notice it, then that's a good thing. So yeah, I would definitely agree with that statement.
It's so hard to get the visual effects right because you also have to take into account the way that looks in that real space, the way the lighting
Mhm.
is, the movement of it. Like, there's just so much things to think about, and it's
Yep.
crazy that that's how deep you have to go with it. As a VFX artist, working with Zach King, that's probably one of the top things to want to do. Can you
Yep.
talk about that, or tell me, run me through the process of like how did that even happen?
When I was first starting out, like, Zach King was, like, the goal, like, you wanna be like Zach King because he pretty much opened this whole new genre of the type of editing that I do, and so to be able to be one of the guys that got to edit this video was, like, mind-blowing. Unfortunately, I never had, like, direct contact with him. It was more so like a client through a client. I've been able to work with this production company, and they've been able to bring in a few different really cool clients, and they're like, "Hey, dude, there's this project. We think you'd be perfect for it. Would you be interested in editing a video for Zach King?" I was like, "No, I'll
Yeah,
pass."
yeah,
Nah.
yeah. Let me see my schedule right
Yeah,
now.
right.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
and no, I was like, and I was even super busy that week that they needed it done. I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna crank it out. Like, I don't care what I have to do."
When's the next time you're gonna get that opportunity? Really?
Exactly. It was a really fun project. There were many, many, many revisions of really tiny micro adjustments, and, like, each adjustment did make the video better, but I'm like, only his brain would be like, "No, let's tweak the color, 2 grades down," and I'm like, "Okay. Alright, let's re-render the entire thing," and then yeah.
That though is a crazy amount of experience to get to see inside a brain that works like that. The detail,
Mhm.
like that's where
Mhm.
he is, and it almost pushes you to be like, I gotta be meticulous like this. I
Yeah.
have to. I didn't think of the color being like, you know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
going back to the drawing board, I feel like that boosts your level up so fast, which is insane. There's one thing that I noticed about like visual effects, especially doing this research, what Zach King does, and I see it in you too, that I don't think a lot of VFX people get to, especially right away. There's a certain level of acting you have to do to make the visual effect one seem believable, but also
Mhm.
like give it character. Zach King
Mhm.
was very. It's almost like he's an actor, like he does like a magician. You do that kind of stuff. And the one thing I noticed with VFX people, because people send me stuff all the time, is like they'll do an effect, but it's like they don't put like their soul into it.
That's
You
right.
have to almost
You
act, and
have to. Yep.
you have to, and like I think that's the one thing that I really noticed. I'm like, why are these people so good at it? Like, why are you so good at it? So when I was looking at your stuff, I'm like, you got the facial expressions down. You have like and as stupid as you might feel in that moment,
Yep. Yep.
you have to do it.
Yep.
Where did that come in? Did you take
Oh
acting?
man.
Are you watching stuff? Are you just a natural at
No, it's it's
doing it?
taken a long time, and I'm still like I hate filming in public. I even hate filming in front of my wife because she makes fun of me. She's like, "You look so dumb right now." Like, I know. Looking back at the footage, like without it being edited, it's like this is like the weirdest thing ever. Kind of what you mentioned, it does go back to like magic tricks, and giving off that performance of like misdirection and trying to tell a story through whatever you're showing. I would notice the same thing. Like if I half did something, then the end result wasn't as good. Like the effect itself could be really cool, but like if my personality or my energy going through it wasn't, that push that it needed, then the video just to look or feel magical, like the feeling that I want them to have. I feel like with my videos, a lot of my facial expressions kind of go the route of being like cartoony or like animated. And so that just kind of is able to further push the silliness of whatever's going on. I have tried to do like a few like dialogue shots and it doesn't work. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how people control their face. And I feel like I'm acting and like when I'm doing it, I'm like, this is like a masterpiece. And
Yeah,
I'm like no one will ever see this because it's so bad.
you watch it back, you're like, wow. Now you
Yeah.
understand when you watch a movie or a
Oh
film,
yeah.
and
It's
you're like, it's bad
insane.
acting, and you're like, this person's
It's
bad.
just-
But then when
yeah.
they when they perform, they're like,
It's crazy. Yeah.
no, that's good because I feel like that's what people need to, you know, get into or understand, or at least like if you don't like doing that but you like visual effects, it's like maybe you get your friends who like being in front of the camera. It makes it, I
Hmm.
don't know,
Yeah,
it just
that's
the
right. Yeah.
performance is really good. How much does sound effects, the SFX part, bring the VFX to life?
In my honest opinion, I think good sound effects will make or break an effect. I just edited a video where it's the actors, he's pretty much driving an invisible car, and the effect is cool, but he's just kind of floating, going back and forth doing the motions. And the effect itself might look clean, but it's nothing without the sound effects that they brought in. They added like the car engine and the keys and just every little detail. And so with the sound effects, I feel like I wouldn't say it's the foundation, but it's definitely something that grabs it as a whole and pushes it. And so yeah, I would say it's a vital part of a good VFX shot.
How often does an idea come into your head and it looks exactly the way it comes out exactly the way you pictured it?
I would honestly say like 70% of the time, 70 to 80% of the time.
That's pretty
If
good. That's pretty
Yeah, it
good,
is
to be
it is pretty
honest. That's
good.
how I was hoping.
Yeah. I would say in the 20%, it's usually because I improved the final product. Like while I was editing was when I thought of something else that could elevate the effect. But otherwise, definitely early on, I would think too much. And I'd be like, this idea is insane. It would be sick. And then I'd try to go film it, and I didn't even think about the process of like how I should film it. And so the video just wouldn't turn out. So I think it's changed over time. Definitely earlier on, the first few years I started out, I would say it was probably 30% of the videos turned out how I wanted. But I feel like now it's definitely 70 or 80% because if I am going to put in the effort of filming, editing, all this stuff, I'm going to make sure to also put the effort on the back end and plan accordingly to how I should film the specific shot to be able to execute it just how I want.
So, like, how much pre-planning do you do or pre-production do you do now?
It's not too much. I just need to make sure I have a very clear understanding of what I need. And especially if a shot has multiple takes or different aspects of it, like I'll usually write it down just to make sure that when I'm filming, I can then go back to those notes and make sure that I filmed part one. All right, next part two, I have to film it this way, but starting from the other side. And so just making sure that I have that plan is just going to set up for success for the final product.
That's crazy that you don't. In my head, I was like, oh, he must pre-plan so many. Especially that 70% is crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. The scope of creativity, I feel like gets wider when you understand visual effects. Like you almost could do anything. And in one of your old videos, you said that the limit is your imagination. What should someone do to get inspired or to build that up if they don't have it?
I would honestly say to start with things that you enjoy. Like watch other people's videos that you really enjoy. Watch and get inspired through other people's creativity, and that should at least spark something. And usually something I've learned is that with the tools that we have, like it's like they're so accessible and a lot of them are for free. Like you don't have to pay $2, not even anything to be able to make a VFX shot, but you just have to understand the tools that you are using.
Speaking of free tools, today's sponsor is Uppbeat. They have free music, free sound effects, and you can even sign up for free with the link in my description or in the pinned comment. They recently released motion graphics on their site, which is amazing for all creators, especially creators like me who don't really know too much about visual effects. They have assets that are plug and play. They have assets that work in DaVinci, Premiere Pro, and even After Effects. So if you guys want to check them out for free, again, the link is in my description or in the pinned comment. Let's get back to the episode.
I think last year or pretty recently, the whole Gaussian splatting topic started coming out of like being able to scan something with your phone and then bring it into your computer and then manipulate it and make really cool environments. When I first saw that, I was like, oh, that's cool, but I don't know how I'm ever going to use this. Like my brain couldn't even like think of any kind of cool examples. And then it wasn't until I started seeing more examples of other people using it. I started using it a little bit more and doing a bunch of different tests. It started like opening my mind of like, oh, the possibilities here are endless. And it was only because I was able to see the tool, understand it, and see the functionalities that other people are using it for.
Because you get like, I guess, inspired or ideas from social media. On the flip side of that, do you ever find that it's tough? Like it's too much information or like, you know, same kind of ideas, or it's hard to innovate because there's just so much content coming out?
Oh yeah, I think that is a big part of it, but it doesn't last very long. At least in my case, there definitely are moments where I'm like, yeah, I can never be as good as XYZ, or that effect was just so cool. And then that might discourage me for like maybe a day. And then after that, it's like, oh, the ideas kind of start, spiraling through. And so like, it is kind of hard, especially now with how flooded social media is and everyone's doing the same effect. Everyone's teaching the same tutorials. Everyone's doing the same. So how do you stand out? How do you produce valuable content that doesn't already exist 100 times in, different fonts? It's just, like taking in that content. Everyone has their each individual idea. And so you just have to take that time to step away from all of that, consuming content so that you can actually have room to breathe. That is now the space where your brain is going to start producing a little bit more instead of consuming so much.
Yeah, I find it like that's a problem now. And I'm starting to see it too, because I cover a lot of videos, but I get so many videos of the same thing. It's the same, and you probably see it too because you're on. And then how do you stack creativity almost, right?
Yeah.
Do you look at some of your videos that you've even done within the last 4 months and you're like, oh, that could have been better. That could have been better. Or are you like, when you look back, because I feel like that with a lot of visual effects artists, the room for growth is kind of fast. So like you could do something last week and then you look at it, you're like, should have done that. I should have made that. I should have paid more attention to that.
Yeah, it definitely happens. And like sometimes like I won't even notice an issue until like after it's posted, or like until someone else like comments on it and they're like, hey dude, great video, but
And it hurts a little bit.
I'm like, dang. It's like, yeah, I don't know how I missed that. It's usually some random detail that like you're so focused on like the big effect that you don't even like hone in on the smaller effects that other people will notice. But it creates engagement, so
That's true.
so it works.
Because you're also playing to that, the platforms, right? I always think of it too. And like I'm pretty strategic with my content too. It's like whatever creates the most conversations will always, regardless if it's good or bad, That's kind of funny though, because sometimes those hurt where they like you miss something and they're like, they don't want to call you an idiot, but you know, you feel it. You feel it a little bit. You're like,
Yeah,
this
you
one kind of
definitely
is
feel
a
it. You're
gray
like,
hand. This is a little passive aggressive right
See, it's a beginner. It's always the beginner mistakes that get me. I'm like,
now. When you do like brand deals and stuff, like what's the turnaround time for some stuff? Because for me, I'm like, if someone asked me to do something in like 3 weeks or a month, I'd be like, what? Nah, like, are you
yeah,
crazy?
yeah. It depends on the project and my like availability, and it's like usually that's a conversation early on. In most cases, the brands usually want it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I don't think the videos that I make are too extensive. So depending on what it is, it's usually at most a week. That I definitely usually have a few days open to where I can work on it, and then there's enough time for revisions in case they need it. But no, my favorite brands are the ones that are like, hey, this is the message we want to send across. It's in your court. I'm like, cool. And then I can, add my own spin on it and, use my own creativity. There are brands that are like, okay, what's the specific script that you're going to talk through? I'm like, okay. So I'll write up the script and like, okay, can we modify it? I'm like, okay, yeah, we can modify it a little bit. And they're like, okay, what video examples are you going to use for the script? I'm like, I don't know yet. I haven't thought that far yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, here are the video
Stop
examples.
asking me.
And so yeah, it's just like they want every single second of the video to, and like I understand it, but it's like you're not even. I'm like, you're paying me, but you're not paying me that much to have so much control. But it's it's a project, so
I feel like that's a lot with a lot of creatives. Like, as it's like a brand wants you sometimes to do like, oh yeah, be you, but be you within these guidelines.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
You're like,
yep.
So what skills and qualities do you think is most important for VFX artists or for someone wanting to get into VFX?
Patience, patience, and kind of like what we've been going over, just attention to detail. You can learn all of the techniques that you want, but if you're speeding through it, and then you're just not paying attention to anything, it's just not going to turn out good. And like if you're not good at patience, like those rendering times are going to surprise you.
I was just
you
gonna,
know
I was just gonna ask you about. I was gonna ask you to give you examples of where the patience should be put, and it's
yeah,
definitely the rendering times, huh?
dude, the rendering times, masking, I think, and like the new technology nowadays, like with rotoscoping, has improved like substantially and has cut down hours, but there are still times where the computer fails and you have to go in manually and mask every single frame to get it just right. And so like I've spent hours just like next frame and then moving the mask, next frame, moving the mask. It turns out great, but it's like those were hours of my life that I will never get back, and I was staring at a screen. So yeah, patience, attention to detail, and just willing to learn. Like there's new tools that are coming out every day, and so if you're like me and you're stubborn and you don't want to learn new 3D tools, you're gonna be limited and stuck in the program that you do now. Be open to learning from other creatives and other people that want to teach you, cool stuff.
Before we get into the breakdown, I just want to say thank you guys for watching this far. Also, if you guys could do me a big favor, like the video, subscribe if you guys aren't already, and share this with anyone you think would enjoy it. All right, let's get to the video breakdowns. This is like one of the cleaner ones, I feel like.
Very simple.
You say that. Okay, I'm gonna let everyone know right now. Hey guys, this video breakdown section is gonna be really me asking a bunch of questions, because you say this, but it's like, okay, the idea, where does it come from? I think you mentioned that it was inspired by someone, but still, like there still needs to be a kind of like this, I don't know, creative. If something goes through your brain where it's like, okay, how can I make this a little bit more creative? Where does this come from?
I mean, I've had this idea for a long time, but just never really had the, I don't know, the opportunity, I guess, to make it, whether it was time or I definitely didn't want to do it in public. So it had to be like at a spot where there was nobody, walking around. I had originally filmed a video a while ago where I kind of run in front of the pool and I make it look like I'm about to jump in, but I end
And then
up
you go up.
floating. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my original video for that was based off of the idea I had for this one. And so, even like since I made that other video, I was like, I want to make this video. I'm kind of like swimming through the air. The time finally came, and I was like, oh, this would be a perfect spot to do it. I almost broke my phone doing it because I filmed underwater with my iPhone, and I Googled it, and like they say, yeah, it's water resistant. Okay, cool. I watched YouTube videos like, okay, so it's pretty safe. Other people are doing it, and they're like, it's fine. I even had a friend who takes his phone into the ocean, and it's
Yeah, the
fine.
call. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So I told my wife I was gonna do it. She's like, don't do it. You're gonna break your phone. I'm like, yeah, but it could be a cool video. She's like, who cares? I'm like, what? Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna do it. And so I ended up having to make like 10 different takes. And so I would put the phone underwater, super wide, like 0.5, and I would just swim back and forth, trying to get the right motion, making sure my entire body was in it. And like, I can't see anything, so I can't make sure I'm framed up. And I had to be like far enough. Yeah, it was just like, it was this whole thing. But hey, you know, it worked out.
It did. Was it easy to key out because the pool was blue?
Yeah. Sort of.
Sort of, a little bit.
Yeah, so I definitely used rotoscope for a grand majority of it, and then there were a few parts where I had to go in and manually mask. And then actually, if you notice that the turtle coming in,
Yeah.
so behind the turtle, my hand gets cut off from the camera. You can almost kind of notice it like in the reflection. It's kind of
right
the edges being cut
here.
off. Yeah. So the turtle is actually something I added to hide mistakes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about this turtle because I was like, oh, this is cool. And then you like rack focused it when it
Yep.
came up.
Yeah. And so like when I'm out of focus, it's when there's a lot of like rotoscope masking jitters, and it just looks horrible. And so I was like, I don't want to spend any more time that I already have on this video. So here's a quick fix. I'm gonna make everything blurry, but I have to put something in the foreground to like make it make sense. And so I was like, hey, this turtle, you know, why not? So I downloaded this turtle online, and then I rotoscoped it, and I was like, hey, this actually kind of works pretty good.
it worked. It actually really does work. Like it's actually so good. And like, did you slow the turtle down, or was this just alright? Because I feel like the speed of it is.
I'm pretty sure it's just swimming like that. I don't think I adjusted the speed. Like everything just worked out perfectly, in like the slow-ish motion that I'm going in kind of matches it. And then I ended up again like zooming the clip at the end to also hide me getting cut out from the clip. So you don't even know. So like I'm being cut off from the footage. So I just have to kind of like move it out of the way.
Dang. That's crazy. To hide it is incredible, actually. And I know you talk about this, like you do a breakdown and you show, but for my question is like, are you walking and like you see this? Did you have the idea and you're like, let me get a coconut and do this? And it's so in your brain, because this is where the creativity comes in. You're walking and you're looking at the coconut, and then you see this and you're like, I'm turning this into this right now. Is that what happened?
That's exactly what happened.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah. For some reason, whenever I go to the beach, and like I'm not even a huge beach guy. Like I don't like the sand.
But you have a lot of videos at the beach.
I know,
Yeah, what the
it's crazy. My wife loves the beach, so like we're at the beach a lot. But every time I'm at the beach, for some reason, I'm like, I gotta make a video. Like it's almost like a need. And if I leave without making a video, I'm like, dang, I was a missed opportunity for whatever reason, even if I don't even have any ideas. But with this one, we were there, and like you said, I was just walking, and there was this giant, I don't know, rock crater thing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then I looked down, and there's a coconut. I'm like, that kind of looks like that. Hey, this could be it could be a fun video. So let's, you know. And so I was like, dude, this worked out. And then for whatever reason, this video like blew up a little bit. It got like a few million views. I was like, out of all the videos, why is this one the one that's doing so good?
It's crazy that you say that, because I can totally see why it gets that. But you thinking this coconut looks like this rock is not normal. It's not normal. I'm telling you right now, like no one's looking at that coconut. I guarantee you, who's walking and it's just like,
It's
no
like,
one's like,
huh.
oh my god, this looks like that rock. Nah, that's not. That is not normal. Not even close. Not even close. They're not even the same shape, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what? It doesn't make any sense. That's why in my head I was like, okay, did he plan this out? Did you bring the
No,
coconut?
no, it
Because
worked out.
and then like the way you colored it too was like it just morphs
Yeah,
perfectly. And then
yeah,
hiding it
everything
with the
just,
little waves in your tutorial,
uh-huh. Yeah,
dude.
everything just worked out. I had done a video similar to this one before, like a few months before, where I just kind of lift my hand close to the camera and then drop
You
it,
drop
and
it
then
like on the side.
there's like a
Like,
giant, yeah, there's like then the giant, and like that was cool. I even think that the original video is much better than this one, just because it's like sunset and the colors are super cool, and then just for whatever reason, this one just did so much better than that one.
are you like that? Do you just walk around like when you're with your wife and you're like you're walking around, you're looking at
Oh
stuff and
yeah.
you're like, is
No,
she
yeah,
pissed? I feel like she
she
must be like,
hates
yo, can
it.
you stop looking at
She's
stuff?
so
You
she's so
weirdo.
annoyed. And like I'm like, hey, could you like film me real quick? She's like, do I have to? I'm like, there's no one else to do it
Yeah.
for me.
You married this. This is what you
Yeah,
get.
it's
You
like, yes,
get what you get.
you knew I did this before we got married, so you signed up. And so now she's a good champ. I know she loves my work, even though she doesn't verbally or show it in any other way.
Yeah.
I know she likes it.
Hey man, that's all that matters, dude.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. This one was a fun one to make.
Yeah. For anyone who's watching this, there are tutorials on his page that you could find. I'm just asking questions about like the other stuff that people don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking what came first? The jumping off the rock or the coffee? And are you sitting there you're like someone could jump off into this cup. You know what I mean? Because this is like what's
Yeah.
happening?
So what's weird is that originally this video was intended to be for a different effect. So, or like a different outcome. And so I remember that day when this is out in Wyoming, and there's this giant rock that you could jump into the lake. And so I was like, a really cool idea would be I'm sitting in my living room, I stand up, the camera starts following me, and I'm kind of walking off the balcony and I end up jumping off this rock into this beautiful water. It's like something super unexpected. Like, why is there a rock? Why is there a cliff? I made like a rough like edit, and I was like, this just isn't as cool as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And so I just scrapped it. I was like, hey, at least I had a cool video of me jumping off a rock. And so months go by. I saw this video, bro. I don't know who was the original maker of it, but it's this composite of this diver, this lady, and she dives, and the camera just pans down and she lands in a coffee mug. But it's really simple. Like like 3D anything. It's literally just bloop, and she just jumps in. And like you don't see the coffee cup until the very end, and you're like, oh, that's kind of fun. That's kind of interesting. I was like, oh, that kind of makes me want to make a video jumping in the coffee. But there's also been so many people have done this exact like the same concept of jumping in the coffee, my morning routine, whatever. And so I was like, I don't really want to film anything that's going to be the same. And then I thought of this like old footage that I had of me jumping into the rock, and I was like, hey, this might work. And then this was like right when Photoshop generative fill was like coming out, and so I was able to use that to make the matte like backgrounds, like the trees and the open
Wait, hold on.
fields.
Wait. That
Yeah.
background is not where you're at?
No,
Like
so
you're
the
not
only
what
real
the
thing in the footage is myself, the rock, and then even the mountains in the way back. And maybe that top layer of blue trees. But where the green trees start, like that's and down is like completely fake.
God damn, what the
Yeah. Yeah. And so I was able to take like different photos of the balcony, and then I just kind of rebuilt it in like 2D/3D space. And the perspective just worked exactly how I thought of it. So I cranked it out in one night, and I was like, sweet, this is
what
great.
the
And like it's just one of those videos that you watch thinking that you know what's happening. And then
Yeah.
the more you watch it, you're like, oh, wait, what? That's kind of weird. And so I got that feeling while I was editing the video. And so I was like, yeah, this one's gonna be a good mind bender.
Wow, I can't believe you composited a lot of that stuff. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I love this video.
There's this one. There's other hand video that you do where it's like this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, that's cool. Then I saw this one and I'm like, oh my gosh, this one feels like those little hand finger things that
Yep.
people put on.
Yep.
But like see stuff like that. It's like it's gonna be the same question. Where does the idea come from? Are you like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah?
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Next.
Yeah. No, it originated from the like that one video that you mentioned with the hands coming out,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah. Yeah.
is
You know
like
what? I
the
think I have it here. Maybe.
nice. It's like the enchantress
No.
effects.
No.
You know, fun fact, a lot of the videos that like do really good on my page are the ones that I don't show my face. And like my it's like my hands, my hand it's like why is my hand so famous? You know, it's like if I don't show my face, it's just gonna go up.
It's
And
like, damn,
so
man, no one likes the way you look.
I know, it's crazy.
I'm about to comment. Watch the next one.
I made this video. It was based off of the effect. I think it's the first Suicide Squad. When it, like
Oh,
the evil witch comes in, and it's like really creepy the way she comes in. Anyway, so like I was like, yeah, it's not that hard of an effect. I made this one. I posted it. Everybody loved it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it got really good views, really good comments, and everyone wanted a tutorial on it. And so that just kind of made my brain. So I think, okay, what other kind of weird hand things can I make that are visually interesting and that kind of breaks your brain? And so I just kind of started thinking of like, oh, like an infinite zoom loop, you know, okay, with my hands, it could look something like, you know, I don't know. And then just playing around, I was like, oh, it works in my head, but I don't know if it's going to work, you know, if I actually try to put it together. I just went under the lamp in our living room with my iPhone. I just kind of filmed my hand, like on the camera going up and just going down my hand, my arm, or backwards even. I don't even remember whether I did top to bottom and then reverse the footage or, you know. Oh no, yeah, that's what it was. Originally, actually, the footage is going the other way.
Oh, like
Originally.
you're lifting, you're doing that.
Uh-huh. And so and
Ah,
then it also looked kind of trippy, but then I reversed the footage, which is the result that we see now. And I was like, this is like even more trippy. And I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I was going for. And
that's
so
crazy. Yeah.
it's such a simple, like, it's just my hand is rotoscoped, and then you could even like see the color difference between my actual
Like
hand and
right
my
here.
finger.
But it's
And
so
it's just,
fast.
yeah, it's just a feather. It's just, and I just kind of try to match the movements of my finger and my hand, and it just works somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah, I love this video.
Yeah, it's so good. It's crazy that you're just kind of like after that hand video, you're like, okay, what else can I do? And you're kind of just like looking at your hand. You're like,
Yeah.
hmm.
Yeah.
And then even something as simple as reversing it. So it's
Mhm.
like that can make such a big difference with certain footage. Or even I tell people like sometimes when you rotate things, like when you shoot reflections or like if you're
Mhm.
shooting a landscape or whatever, even
Yeah.
if you rotate it, it gives it a whole different like
Just
creative.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, so
Damn.
and I think that's like well, like I kept trying to think of new ideas for like my hand, like that's all I could come up with.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
how many ad things.
Yeah.
Dude, I was gonna say like when we're talking about the coconut earlier, I'm like, it'd be great to have a series where you're just grabbing shit and turning it
And just throwing it, yeah.
and throwing it up and just and then because like just to kind of see in my head because that coconut one I'm like how did I was trying to go frame by frame. I'm like at what point did he change it into a thing?
Yeah,
It just
I don't
morphed
even know.
so perfectly.
It works really good.
Oh my gosh. All right.
So for this one, it was actually after I worked on a client project and they're like, "Hey,
Ah,
we need to like emphasize this person being old, but we don't want to use makeup and all that." 'Cause it'll just be faster. I was like, "Okay." It's such a weird process that I use. I just use, like, an AI filter that just made my face old. I used Mocha Pro instead of After Effects and just kind of mesh tracked and just tried to make it, you know, stick as best as possible. Like, if you notice, like, my face doesn't rotate that much. It kinda stays the same direction the entire time,
yeah.
because if it were to rotate with the old like mask on, it
Oh
would
yeah,
start to
yeah, yeah.
shift too much.
Cause like, what did you track it to? Cause like usually they would have like, you know, you have dots or you
Mhm.
have like
Yeah,
certain things.
just my like Mocha Pro is a beast. Like whenever you go to track in there, it literally adds like thousands of trackers and just goes to your skin. And then based off of the information, while whatever object is moving, it'll track on pretty good. It did take me like 5 different tries to like get the track just right.
Did you have to keep shooting this? And like, did you
Uh
rotate your head too much? And you're like, I gotta kind of
yeah,
keep it a little bit more steady.
I think there was like 1 or 2 reshoots, but like usually it's just like redoing the track like on the same footage of like, okay, last time I selected this entire area, maybe this time I'm only gonna
So
select
yeah,
the
smaller.
cheeks, or I'm only
Mhm.
gonna select, whatever, and usually hope for a better result.
So this was like, wait, you said AI like to get that old.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
wow. Yeah, and this is the video that I saw where I started thinking performance. Like,
Mm-hmm.
cause cause I can only imagine what this looks like without this, and you're looking at yourself doing like all this stuff, and
No,
you're like, yeah,
I made sure the door was closed. Nobody
yeah,
was in the.
yeah. No one's home. You're like, babe.
No, the
Uh,
worst is like when she like walks in on me and she's like, "Okay,"
yeah.
and I'm like,
What are you doing?
"Yeah, please, just no, leave me
Don't
alone."
ask you. Don't ask me why I'm naked. Is
Yeah,
this for the video? Yeah,
it's for content,
yeah,
honey.
yeah.
It's
She just closes the door again slowly.
like this entire video was me playing around with Gaussian splatting and experimenting the 3D world, also staying all inside of After Effects and playing around with different perspectives and cameras. And yeah, like every single, I didn't really have a full plan of what I wanted the end sequence to look like, but it was just like once I finished one shot, I was like, okay, the next shot should be, XYZ. Like the original footage is on the left. It's literally shaking the
Yeah.
camera and then tracking it and then just rotoscoping it. Like it's so simple. Um,
You keep saying that, man.
sorry.
You keep.
Uh,
You keep.
it's
I get it. I get it.
it's so simple when you
It's so
do,
easy.
it's
Idiots
so
can do
easy. Why
this.
don't you do it? I know. It's so easy when
Nah.
you give like 5 years of your life
Yeah.
doing the exact same thing.
The meticulous part of it. Yeah, for sure.
I use my phone and Polycam to scan this toy airplane, and it gave me. It's kind of janky if you get real close. Like you can notice
Huh.
some of the holes in the airplane itself. Yeah, it's just like the tools. Again, going back to like the free tools that we have that we can use to literally just play with our imagination and find cool results is
Yeah.
mind blowing. Yeah, and so this one, same thing. I scanned the chair with Gaussian spot with Polycam, and Production Crate. It's this website with like free. They do have a paid subscription, but they have a lot of free VFX and they have free plugins. And they have this hologram plugin that you just click a button and it pretty much does the entire hologram effect for you.
Damn, really?
And so I animated the chair like appearing with the Gaussian splat 3D effect, and then with just like one click, it makes it look like a really cool hologram. It's just really fun stuff like that.
Damn,
I used to
yeah,
say
it's
like
crazy.
a VFX artist is as good as his arsenal, essentially, because you could have really bad assets and the video is just not going to look great. But if you have really good assets, you just have to figure out where to find them and where to look.
Yeah, that was tough though, because like sometimes I think people who have really good assets and it's still like you're like, ugh.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
that's
a
fair.
waste. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I feel like at least you put the time and effort into knowing a lot of these things. I don't
Yeah.
want as much as I want people to try it and be like, thing like, let's be real, people. This is years and years of like understanding and certain things like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I get
Yep.
it. It's like you can, it's a mix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the talent, the skill, the assets, all of that stuff. So just to end it off, what advice do you have for people who is interested into getting into visual effects?
There's definitely a lot out there. There's a lot of information. There's a lot to be able to learn. But just don't be discouraged. Like use that to your advantage. There are a lot of people who have really great YouTube channels that teach VFX, that want to see people grow. Like, even for me, film, right? A true testament of, like, you can make really great stuff on a budget. If you really hone in on your skill, you can make really great products if you truly put your mind to it. And so definitely use the free, accessible resources that we have at hand, and just take it one effect at a time. Some, like, a big mistake I see with people making is trying to learn so many different techniques, different effects, and they kind of get mediocre at each one of them. But if you hone in and learn a skill and perfect it, then you can, kind of like we were mentioning earlier, it opens up so many possibilities with just one tool. And so once you perfect that one, move on to the next and figure out how you can incorporate the tool that you just learned how to use.
If you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast, I know you guys will probably like this one right here. So check it out.